The house had been on the market for months, an old Victorian relic on the edge of town that everyone whispered about, but no one dared to buy. Everyone except me. I saw potential in its peeling paint and overgrown ivy. I saw a home. The realtor, a nervous man named Mr. Abernathy, handed me a single, ornate brass key. He mentioned the previous owners left in a hurry, something about the house not settling right. I just chuckled, chalking it up to old house noises and local superstition. My first night was October 30th. I spent the day unpacking boxes, the scent of dust and old wood filling my lungs. As evening fell, a thick fog rolled in from the nearby woods, swallowing the house whole. It felt atmospheric, perfect for Halloween Eve. I was in the kitchen making tea when I heard it for the first time. A faint scratching sound. It seemed to come from inside the walls. I dismissed it as a mouse, a common issue in old homes. But the scratching grew louder, more rhythmic, almost deliberate. It wasn't the frantic scurrying of a rodent. This was a slow, methodical scrape, scrape, scrape. It moved, too. From the kitchen wall, it traveled up towards the second floor, directly towards the master bedroom where I planned to sleep. A chill that had nothing to do with the autumn air crept down my spine. I called out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" Only the scraping answered, now sounding like fingernails dragging across old plaster. I grabbed the heaviest flashlight I could find and followed the sound upstairs. The scratching stopped the moment my foot hit the top step. The upstairs hallway was a tunnel of shadows, with doors leading to empty rooms. The sound had come from the master bedroom at the end of the hall. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob. The room was just as I'd left it, boxes stacked against the walls, the large bay window looking out into the impenetrable fog. But there was something different. A smell. It was faint, but unmistakable. The cloying, sweet scent of decay, like forgotten flowers left to rot in a vase. And on the wall opposite the door, the one that backed onto the hallway, were fresh marks. Long, thin scratches in the faded wallpaper, arranged in a strange, almost symbolic pattern. It wasn't an animal. The marks were too precise, too intentional. I backed out of the room, my heart hammering against my ribs. I tried to rationalize it. Old wallpaper peeling? Settling foundations? But I knew I was lying to myself. I decided to sleep on the sofa downstairs, close to the front door. I locked the bedroom door behind me, the click of the lock echoing loudly in the silent house. Sleep didn't come easily. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind against the windows made me jump. Sometime after midnight, I drifted into an uneasy slumber, only to be jolted awake by a new sound. A soft, rhythmic thudding. It was coming from upstairs. Thump, thump, thump. It was the sound of a slow, heavy footstep, and it was pacing back and forth in the locked master bedroom. I was frozen, huddled under a blanket on the sofa, listening. The pacing continued for what felt like an eternity. Thump, thump, thump. Then silence. A heavy, expectant silence that was somehow worse than the noise. I held my breath, straining my ears. That's when I heard it. A whisper, right by my ear. It was a dry, raspy sound, like dead leaves skittering across pavement. It whispered a single word. Get. I didn't wait for it to say the second word. I scrambled off the sofa, fumbling for my keys and phone in the dark. As my fingers closed around them, the scratching started again, but this time it wasn't in the walls. It was coming from the other side of the living room door. A frantic, desperate scratching, as if something was trying to claw its way in. I didn't even grab my coat. I bolted for the front door, my breath catching in my throat. As I yanked it open, the porch light flickered, casting long, dancing shadows across the lawn. In that split second, I glanced back into the house. In the darkness of the living room, I saw a shape. A tall, impossibly thin silhouette was standing where the sofa was. It wasn't moving, just standing there, its form barely distinguishable from the shadows that surrounded it. But I could feel its gaze on me, cold and ancient. I slammed the door shut and ran. I didn't stop running until the streetlights of the main town were a warm, welcoming glow in the distance. The fog was thinner here, but I could still feel the chill of that house clinging to me. I spent the rest of the night in my car, parked in a well-lit supermarket lot, jumping at every shadow. The next day was Halloween. I called Mr. Abernathy. I told him I couldn't live in that house, that something was terribly wrong with it. He wasn't surprised. He just sighed and said he'd handle the paperwork. He told me the story then. The family before me, the ones who left in a hurry, they had a young son. On Halloween night, years ago, he was playing hide and seek. He hid in a dumbwaiter shaft that had long since been sealed up. They never found him. They searched for days, but it was like he vanished. His parents eventually moved away, broken by grief. The house has been on and off the market ever since. People say they can still hear him, Mr. Abernathy said, his voice low. Scratching, trying to get out. He paused. Or maybe he's not trying to get out. Maybe he's trying to invite you into play. I hung up the phone, the words echoing in my head. I never went back for my things. Let the house keep them. Sometimes, late at night, especially around Halloween, I think I can still hear it. That faint, rhythmic scratching. A game of hide and seek that never ends. The question is, if you hear a scratching in your walls, will you go looking for it? Or will you be smart enough to run? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more chills. Stay safe out there. The flickering candlelight cast long, dancing shadows across the room, making the familiar space feel alien and threatening. It's been a week since that night. A week since I saw what I saw in Old Man Blackwood's house. Sleep has been a luxury I can't afford. Every time I close my eyes, I see it. The carved pumpkin on his porch, not with a candle inside, but with a pulsing, fleshy light. And the face, its grin wasn't carved. It was stretched, a rictus of pure malice. The police said it was a prank. An elaborate, tasteless Halloween prank. They found nothing. No strange lights, no disturbingly realistic pumpkin. Just an old, empty house. But I know what I saw. I know what I heard. That low, guttural chuckle that seemed to crawl up my spine and nestle in my brain. My friends think I'm losing it. You were just spooked, man, Jake said. It's Halloween. Your mind was playing tricks on you. But it wasn't a trick. It was real. That's why I'm going back. I know it sounds crazy, but I have to. I have to prove I'm not insane. I have to understand what's happening in that house. I've spent the last few days digging, scouring old town records and online archives. The Blackwood family has a dark history in this town, one that people prefer to forget. Whispers of strange rituals, disappearances that were never solved, all centered around the autumn equinox and Halloween. They weren't just celebrating the holiday. They were a part of something older, something darker. I found a local legend, a folk tale about a harvest lord, a being summoned on Samhain to ensure a bountiful crop. But the price was always steep. The stories get vague on the details, but they all mention a sacrifice and a vessel to host the entity. The Blackwoods were supposedly its keepers. The last direct descendant, Elias Blackwood, died in that house 50 years ago. The official report said he died of a heart attack. But I found his journal, digitized by the local historical society. The last entry, dated October 31st, is chilling. It reads, "The jack is lit. The grin is wide. He is hungry tonight. I pray I am not the harvest." So, armed with a flashlight and a healthy dose of terror, I stand here again, outside the decaying fence of the Blackwood property. The air is cold, unnaturally still. The house looms before me, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised purple sky. The moon is a pale sliver, offering little comfort. I'm filming this, just in case. If something happens, I want people to know the truth. I push open the creaking iron gate. The sound echoes in the silence, a stark announcement of my intrusion. Each step up the overgrown path feels heavy, as if the very ground is trying to hold me back. There it is. The porch. The spot where the pumpkin sat. It's empty now, but the wood beneath is stained, a dark, almost black circle, as if something incredibly hot had been resting there. My hand trembles as I reach for the doorknob. It's cold, ancient brass. I expect it to be locked, but it turns with a groan. The door swings inward, revealing a maw of darkness. A wave of musty air, thick with the smell of rot and something else, something sweet and cloying, washes over me. Like decaying flowers and old meat. I step inside, my flashlight beam cutting a nervous path through the gloom. Dust motes dance in the light like tiny, frantic spirits. The furniture is all covered in white sheets, ghostly shapes in the oppressive silence. It's a tomb, a place where time stopped. I move deeper into the house, my footsteps echoing on the hardwood floor. I head for the study, where the police report said they found Elias Blackwood. The door is ajar. As I push it open, the beam of my flashlight falls on a massive stone fireplace. And above it, a portrait. It's a stern-looking man with cold, dark eyes. Elias Blackwood. But it's what's in his lap that makes my blood run cold. He's holding a small, intricately carved gourd, shaped exactly like a pumpkin. Its carved face is identical to the one I saw. The same wide, malicious grin. A wave of dizziness hits me. This isn't just a folktale. This is a legacy, a tradition. And as I stare at the painting, I swear the painted eyes move, following the beam of my light. A floorboard creaks upstairs. My heart leaps into my throat. Hello. I call out, my voice a pathetic whisper. Silence. Of course, it's an old house. It's just settling. That's what I tell myself. But then I hear it again. A slow, deliberate footstep. Then another. Someone is up there. I'm not alone. My survival instinct screams at me to run, to get out of this house and never look back. But morbid curiosity, the desperate need for answers, roots me to the spot. I have to see who it is. Against all reason, I begin to climb the grand staircase, each creaking step a countdown to something I can't even imagine. The air gets colder the higher I go, and that sweet, rotting smell gets stronger. The upstairs hallway is a corridor of closed doors. The footsteps seem to have stopped, but I feel a presence. A heavy, watchful feeling, like a predator waiting in the dark. My light scans the hallway, and then I see it. At the very end of the hall, one door is slightly ajar. A faint, orange light pulses from within, a sickly, rhythmic glow. It's the same light I saw in the pumpkin. It's in there, whatever it is. I approach the door slowly, my breath held tight in my chest. I can hear a sound now, a wet, rhythmic squelching noise, accompanied by that low, guttural chuckle I remember from outside. I'm terrified, but I have to look. I have to know. I push the door open. The room is a child's bedroom, frozen in time. A small bed, a rocking horse, toys scattered on the floor. But the source of the light isn't a lamp. In the center of the room, on a small wooden chair, sits another pumpkin. It's larger this time, and the orange glow from within illuminates the veins and sinews visible just beneath its waxy skin. It's alive, and it's not alone. Kneeling before it is a figure in a tattered, dark cloak. The figure is carving something. Not another pumpkin, but a small, wooden doll. With each slice of the knife, the pumpkin on the chair pulses brighter, and the chuckling deepens, resonating from the gourd itself. The figure stops carving and slowly turns its head. The hood falls back. It's a face I've seen in the town square, at the grocery store. It's one. His eyes are wide, glassy, and empty, reflecting the pumpkin's orange glow. He's in a trance. He's not the one in control. Then, the pumpkin's carved eyes snap directly to me. The grin seems to widen, stretching impossibly. The chuckle stops, replaced by a single, raspy word that echoes in my mind more than my ears. Harvest. I stumble back, dropping my flashlight. The room is plunged into darkness, save for that single, pulsing, malevolent orange eye. I ran. I don't remember getting out of the house. I just remember the cold night air and the sound of my own ragged breaths. They're still here, the keepers, and the harvest has just begun. Thank you so much for watching. I know this was intense, but this story needs to be told. If you've ever experienced anything strange in your own town, let me know in the comments below. Stay safe out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. I'll see you in the next one.